Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Tuesday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios inside the bunker in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey at the highest point of the Garden State and Chicago, Illinois. We got Vinnie Parise as Game Day Live. We are going to be discussing the season ahead of us. The regular season schedules are out. Devils, where are they going to play? Where are we going to travel to? Keep it here, keep it real as we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Also go to pucksandpitchforks.com for the latest Devils blogs, news, notes. The trolls are trolling, Vinny.
Apparently, Vinny's been retired because Tom just said Vinny's out of retirement. Welcome back from retirement, Vinny.
Thank you. It felt like retirement. I haven't been on since game 82.
I know. It's weird, right?
It's been a busy month, just an absolute insane month, doing the whole playoff thing and whatnot. 2 months, basically. Yeah, 2 months. But I'm happy to be back. I'm a little sad. Normally when I hear that music and I hear Sam Woo's voice and your voice and I see my face in a little square, I know I got a big, juicy game ahead of me that night. I don't have that today. You know, once I'm done with you guys, I'm just going to, go live. That's not fun. So, you know.
Go live.
But you know what? I'm willing to enjoy the summer for a little bit right now. But it is exciting to see what we have coming up for this coming season. There is some soccer to watch tonight, so it's not like there's nothing to watch on TV. The U.S. got bounced last night, which sucks, but whatever, it is what it is. But I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Wow, we got a whole bunch of people already. Mark Schwab, Max, a lot of the regular names, Tom, Matt, Dubs. Looks like Dubs has his tickets for the home opener. I guess they're on sale. I got to go get mine. Definitely got to get mine.
Yeah. Now that we know, the entire schedule, you can kind of look at it and start mapping out what you're going to be wanting to do this upcoming season. Now, the fun thing for me always to start breaking down a schedule is to look at the first game of the season and whether or not that's your home opener. For the New Jersey Devils, those two things are the same. Their first game of the season is their home opener on October the 10th against the Toronto Maple Leafs. What do you guys think about that as your opening game?
Don't forget, we're going to be opening up in Europe prior to that.
Correct.
We're going to be opening up.
Yes, so that is correct.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
So,
that's just a glorified preseason, but counts as a regular season game.
You get 2 points if you beat Buffalo twice.
Exactly.
Or you get 4 points if you beat Buffalo twice.
All right, so looking beyond the Prague games, which I'm still trying to figure out if I can get to. It's opening up with Toronto. You've got the story of Sheldon Keefe coaching against his old team for the first home game. You've got Toronto coming into town again, potentially bringing up the chicken finger incident from a few years ago. And the end of that streak, we're going to have a new Toronto Maple Leafs, who are trying to become a little bit more of probably more of a defensive type team. Thank you, Max, for the super chat. Woo!
There's a question.
Uh-oh. There's a question, Vinny, from Max in his super chat. I'm gonna read it to you. Vinny, what beverage sponsors this podcast?
Wow. Holy crap. We're just going to get right into that. I mean, when you send a super chat, I have to answer it right away.
You have to.
The official sponsor of the Let's Go Devils podcast network for the first time in the 2024-25 season is Crew Brew. And Crew Brew, where we make winning memories together, one crew at a time. And Crew Brew.
Oh, I've been waiting for that for all last couple months. And Crew Brew.
don't even know how I started doing it. It just sounds right.
Sounds like an F1 racer. Anyway. I guess those people on Reddit are be like, yeah, their voices are so annoying. They don't talk Devils hockey.
Clearly.
Oh, well.
That's exactly how I feel when we leave an episode. We didn't talk about the Devils enough.
Yeah.
No, we never do.
It's called ADD, folks. ADD.
Ooh, boy, do I know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right, so they're out in Europe. Is any of us going?
I'm trying.
All right.
I'm trying. I have not had a moment to plan. I know I have to get back to our friend Rick. I would like to try to get there. I have to look at flights and all kinds of stuff yet. So that's part of my summer goal and see what kind of shirts I can pump out to get me to Europe. But I would love to be able to go. The problem is, this is what's the problem with me, my scheduling. I can only take off like a day to go.
Yeah, that's a busy time of year for you.
It's a real busy time of year. Busy time of year.
Screw those kids.
Yeah, I can't.
That's true.
Can't really do that.
You know what? At the next New Jersey public school meeting, I don't know. I'm going to tell the union head, hey, 3-day vacations. Mandatory.
Hey, you can tell you can tell my union head all you want. It's my co-teacher.
Oh, anyway. It's not like kids are learning anyway, if you think about it.
I would like to think that they are learning in my room.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, never mind me. So they're out in Europe. It's like the European series NHL's doing. It was fun last time. I think it's going to be fun this time. I don't know if I'm going to get myself out there. It's Prague. Palat's hometown, right?
He's from the general area.
He's from.
Is what I've heard.
Okay. So, yeah. So, and then opening night at the Rock Thursday night is
the 10th of October. So I'm assuming it'll be a good time at American Whiskey with the Let's Go Devils podcast. Big stage. Vinny coming in remotely, unless Vinny decides to travel out east for the 10th.
Nothing's impossible.
Nothing is impossible.
Although I do want to take the first road trip outside of Europe because they play the Caps on that Saturday night on the October 12th. That's something that could be doable. It's a 4-hour trip.
We could take a train.
Oh, I don't believe in trains. You know my feelings on that. Mass transit, I don't believe in it. It's very socialist. That's anyway. But that's just me.
Well, I mean, that's more than possible to do that Washington trip because I've been to a game down there. I've been to a Devil Caps game down there in Washington. So I'd be all for it if we can make it. And then shortly after that, on that Monday, we have our old friend of the podcast, Paul Marino, coming down from Boston to see John Marino's return to New Jersey on the 14th of October.
Yeah, the Utah Hockey Club.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be. I never wanted to see Marino get traded, but I understand why. I have his jersey coming to me. I might wear that jersey. Now, is that Columbus weekend? I think it has to be. It's not?
No. It would be the week before. It would be Columbus Day week. The weekend of Prague would be Columbus Day weekend. I got to look at that. You know what? I don't know. It could be Columbus Day weekend. I'm not sure.
If you don't know and not sure, don't say no.
Sure.
Because it's a 1 p.m. start, isn't it? On the Utah.
Oh, then it's Columbus Day that day. Yeah. Yeah.
I do. So I was going to jump in and say that. It is at 1 p.m. Eastern on Monday, the 14th of October against Utah. So it's got to be Columbus Day.
I would hope so. And I'm probably going to be stuck at work that day.
Really?
And it wouldn't be Canadian. It wouldn't be Canadian Thanksgiving. Like, why would the Devils have a day game for Canadian Thanksgiving?
Nope. Cool.
And you got Paul Marino, Italian. Vinnie Parise, Italian.
Hey.
Yeah. Vinny, do you think you could come on opening night? we're gonna have to get you out of here.
I would love to. So I have a couple things I want to do Devils-wise next season. I'm obviously probably not going to be able to do all of them, but that's one. They played Nashville. That Nashville game you were talking about really intrigues me.
The 23rd of February?
Yeah. For some reason, their home game against the Hawks is December 14th, and it's a 1 p.m. start. It's a day game.
Saturday.
So, like, how fun would it be to go to that 1 p.m. game and then go rip up New York City that night? That would be fun.
We could do that. And there
was another game.
The return trip to Chicago is like the middle of a week in March.
I know. I'll for sure be there.
Oh yeah.
But like, how much of a party can we make it on a Wednesday night? That's up to everyone else.
Oh boy.
I got to get permission from Nick Villano. State of the fan address, 8:30 p.m. Eastern every Wednesdays to have the day off that day. I don't know if he's going to allow me to go to Chicago.
Well, they play. That's like one. They hardly play on Wednesday, especially in the second half of the season. They're a little Wednesday heavy in January. 3 out of 5 Wednesdays, which having one day a week, have 5 days in a month is extremely rare. But there's 5 Wednesdays in January of 25, and 3 of them road against LA, home against Boston, home against Philly. But yeah, there's a lot here to kind of digest. There's that 2-week break in February too, and that's where the All-Star game is going to be, and the Four Nations face-off. I want to go to Boston and watch.
That would be a cool trip.
The Four Nations face-off. That is one of my goals for next season, is to go to TD Garden and see those games. At least I know the championship game is at the Garden.
We should bunk at Paul's and Max's.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what's going to have to happen. Max, you got to open up your guest room. Vinny's coming.
That's funny. That's very
Invite
funny.
ourselves over. Sure, that go well.
Yeah. I'm sure. Especially now that he's in Utah, that would just totally be something he wanted.
Oh
to be a part of,
no! We're still friends with Paul Marino. I didn't say, "Hey, Paul, we don't need you anymore." No, I said,
Paul. Nobody's rooting for John to go there and have success more than me.
Yeah, I try to cheer Paul up. I said, "Hey, my nephew moved out there. I heard there's good investment opportunities. It's a booming town." I was kind of BSing because I wasn't sure. But he's like, yeah, I heard that.
Was it a little bit of a disappointment for him?
What for John?
For Paul?
For Paul?
No, for Paul.
You know what? You got to think from a parent's standpoint. It was a 4-hour drive one way to see his kid play. Now it's a cross country trip practically, and I feel for him there because you want to see your kid play. I mean, how often do you have an NHL? Player in the sun. So, but we will always remain friends with Paul Marino. He is a good friend of the podcast, and I told him that I feel in my heart that he'll come back one day, out of nowhere. John Marino.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. You know what? He's going to have a chance to play big minutes on a good team, in my opinion. You guys saw Arizona firsthand last year. And, like, they smoked the Devils that day you guys were there.
Yeah.
And it's a team loaded with talent, and they added Sergachev and Marino. All of a sudden, their blue line's respectable. Some of these other guys in their lineup taking a big step. Hey, John's going to be part of a good team John Marino's going to be a part of a good team next year. And
plus, you've got new owners that can actually pay the hotel bill, too.
That's another thing.
True. That's a big thing.
They've acted so differently in this offseason than Arizona ever did.
And it's technically a brand new team because everything's brand new, fresh from a start. So he kind of gets that. Not many players get that opportunity, and it seems like that it's an opportunity with owners that are looking forward to doing something big. So
now, Shorts guy, February only 2 home games. You got Vegas on that Thursday, February 6th. But you pointed out on Saturday. February 8th, up in Montreal. I think we need to go. I think it's a road trip.
I'll go to. I haven't been to Montreal in a while. We could do that. We could do that in a road trip.
A road trip to Montreal.
Leave on a Friday.
On a Friday afternoon.
You been to Montreal?
Me? Yes. many times.
Both of you.
Yeah. I've been to Montreal twice. I went up there to play hockey, and then I went up there to watch a soccer match.
I want to go to Montreal for hockey reasons and fun reasons.
When I was in Montreal, I saw the Habs play the Caps. When I was in college.
Is the exchange rate still good?
It's still it's still relatively good. I think it's like 76 cents to the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, so we could go up there on a Friday night. We could drive up past Lake Placid, go to Plattsburgh. Once we get to the border, they'll probably detain me for 4 hours because I always I'm always on the other line where they got to like search the car and pat me down, ask questions if I'm bringing vegetables and fish into the
There's
into
a great
country.
Simpsons. There's a great Simpsons episode where Homer
we could
does
go to Hurley's Irish Pub. I know the people there. It's right outside the Belt Center, a couple blocks away. We could do our podcast there.
Oh, Max is asking us to pick him up on the way up.
Okay, yeah, just hop on the bus, and and then maybe afterwards we'll go to the Canadian Ballet afterwards. That's what we call it.
Is that like code for one of the strip clubs in Montreal?
I didn't want to say it out loud, but that's what we call it. And the dollar goes far there if you bring USD.
Yeah, don't throw the loonies or don't throw the coins at them.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, I think there was one period of time, I think in 2009, 2010, that the U.S. dollar fell so badly that nobody wanted it, up in Canada. Because, as an American, I like to go in Canada arrogant. Like, I'm not using your money. I'm putting my money down. I don't care.
I'll tell you what, though. Buying hockey gear from Canada with the exchange rate is pretty damn nice.
Oh, tell me about it. So, but yeah, I'm thinking Montreal. I'm thinking, there's Hurley's Irish Pub, in Montreal on Crescent Street. And we're going to have a good time. I'll show you guys around. I've spent a lot of time up there in Montreal. Maybe we can meet up with the great Connor McKenna, who has the #1 sports radio show up at TSN 690. Yeah, maybe he'll come out. Or maybe he'll be like, Sam, you guys are a bunch of idiots. I won't talk to you guys. He could be like that.
Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me to get that.
Well, Connor came to my wedding. So, maybe he'll meet up with us.
You know what we might have to do? We might have to get our good friend JJ to come along.
Oh, let JJ.
JJ.
The poutine, says Ted. We got to get the poutine.
You know what though?
There.
You know what though? I've had the poutine, and you know what? I don't think it's nearly as good as disco fries from a good old Jersey diner.
Now, where did you get the poutine? Because
somewhere in Montreal. I don't know where it was. It was late at night, but I got poutine.
You got to try it again before you can make that statement. But yeah.
All right, I'll try it again. I promise I'll try it again. But Vinny, did you have disco fries when you were around here in December?
No. Do you remember you told me next time I'm there?
Okay.
That is like the deal. Like, yeah.
Okay. Disco fries and Texas wieners. That's what we're doing the next time.
Vinny, I've been meaning to tell you. Remember when you told me this story that your first Taylor ham and egg came from Wawa? Was it Wawa?
No.
It wasn't you? No? Oh.
No. My first ever was actual Taylor ham, like the branded pork roll. I know you can't say either. Can't say both.
It was
you
never pork. It was never pork roll. But go ahead.
But it says on the Taylor ham package, like Taylor ham pork roll. Like it was that brand.
Oh, I thought your first experience in Jersey was at Wawa, the Taylor ham. They call it pork roll.
No, I did try it at Wawa.
Dude, it's disgusting. I actually
it's not great.
I had to spit it out. I was like, this is Canadian bacon. This isn't Taylor ham. What the heck is this?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
I felt so bad. I was like, I had one bite and I spit it out. Like, this is disgusting. And me, I eat anything.
Had it. I had it homemade first.
I love ordering Taylor ham down in Wildwood, and they look at me like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "You call it wrong. It's called Taylor ham."
Oh, I could have a whole podcast series on how
We tried that.
The
Didn't we try
government,
that?
the United States government, when they founded what is now the FDA, the first thing that they went after was the Taylor family and Taylor ham. It's disgusting. If you believe in the government,
Sam,
telling you what what's that?
You should just have a whole podcast series on Sam's conspiracy theories.
NHL conspiracy theories. We'll start from there. I've got all of them.
You got to dive into Taylor ham. Like,
I had a discussion in the group text that Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, his father is Ron Greshner, former New York Ranger. I have this conspiracy theory. Woo Mystery says.
I've heard this one.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the explanation on that, but yeah, it is pretty funny how Ron Greshner is Justin Trudeau's father. Biological. Sorry. All right, let's go through the schedule as we're going off the rails. Yeah. Let's see. We're bouncing around, so where do you want to bounce to? Now, the Florida.
Yes.
In November. So you're playing, look at this schedule. So you're Tuesday, Thursday, November 12th and 14th. So in case you missed the Tuesday game, you can make it up on, a Thursday. It's just, I don't know how they put that together. So you got Florida back to back.
Very baseball-y.
Yeah. It's like a series, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then
but you have Tampa. You have Tampa on the 16th of November. Now, as you may know, this podcast, Nick Filano and I, broadcasted outside of Amalie Arena and Thunder Alley. We actually got permission from the Tampa Bay Lightning to do that, and I'm gonna request it again. I think we have to go.
I was looking at flights already for that one. Flights are not too bad for Tampa.
Yep.
I would love to be able to go to Florida. I would love to be able to visit our friends in Cocoa Beach, but unfortunately I cannot. But
no, you can, because we could go afterwards. We could go from Tampa to Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach. It's only a 2-hour ride. I think it's 2 hours. See Andrew Bunin, Sandbar Sports Grill.
Yeah,
he's expanding. Do you know he's expanding? When we went there,
you just told me.
We went there a few years ago. Good friend of the podcast listener. Loves the podcast, and I went down there, and I was met by the locals. They were all hockey fans, some of them Devils, and they were all cheering me on. Like, he got all the locals at Cocoa Beach to come see the Let's Go Devils podcast. And it was a lot of people.
That's awesome.
A lot of people. A lot of fish tacos and a lot of people.
Maybe I'll have to fly in on that Friday and meet you in the Cocoa Beach area, and then we drive to Tampa.
And we could pass by my parents. The Woo Estate that's 5 minutes away from Disney.
Yep.
Yeah, we could do that.
I promise not to almost kill your mom this time I see her.
Yeah, we don't have any trees in the area, but that's another story for another day. Anyway, but yeah, that's something I would do. Do.
So we could do that.
That's a road trip.
Work on that.
Yeah,
that's a road trip.
And then we have some time to breathe because as a podcast, if there's a game the next day, after going on these trips, it's exhausting to do these podcasts. But we actually got a reprieve after Tampa. We got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's going to work out well till we hit Carolina.
That's time.
Yeah.
Yep.
From a hockey point of view, it's a very difficult stretch. You go Florida, Tampa. I mean, the last two Eastern Conference champions, but then you have some time off after that. So if you're playing, you can say, okay, let's go here. We got 3 games, and then we have 4 days off. Like you said, Sam, if you did that trip in Tampa Bay and you were there, you wouldn't have to record again until State of the Fan Address on Wednesday night, 5 days later. So
at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, pucksandpitchforks.com.
Exactly. It's actually an interesting time. Right before they leave for that Florida trip, will be number 1 overall pick Macklin Celebrini's first ever trip to the Prudential Center, which will be very interesting as well. I'm sure every time he makes his first appearance in a new building, similar to Bedard last year, other number 1 picks in the past, it's always interesting seeing them play a game in a new building for the first time.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's one of the Sundays where the Devils and Devils After Dark will preempt the big show. which happens every so often.
Yeah, and you know what I need to do? I forgot to do this for the research for this podcast. Not that we ever do research. How many back-to-back games we have?
10.
9.
Is it
10.
9.
10?
I counted 9.
10. Yeah,
I
10.
counted 9, but
Max
Shorts
is telling
guy's
us-
probably right because I'm stupid.
Max is telling us 10. I've been trying to count, and every time I try to count, I lose track. So I'm going to do that real quick right now. 1, 2, 3.
Buffalo must be the 10th. The Prague games. I did not count those. That's a back-to-back.
Like
So
I
10.
said, that's a glorified preseason game that happens to have
Yeah, I
points.
counted 9, but I could be wrong. It could be 11 including those. I don't know what other people counted, but I suck at counting. I suck
Well, at least
at math.
we didn't
I
get
suck at
hosed
everything,
this year
basically.
like last season. And we've got some beef.
16 to 10 is a lot of discount.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Vinny, you actually might be right with 9 because that's what I got here. But I also am terrible at math.
But did you count Buffalo?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
As we're listening to Shorts Guy count. At least it's better than
I
what
have
we
no
had
idea.
last season.
Regardless if it's 9 or 10, it's way better than last year. That's close to 20 games fewer being part of back-to-backs. Vancouver, Quinn Hughes, March 24th. I always find that game to be entertaining.
Yeah, it is 10. Max was right because you want to know what it was? We have a back-to-back on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day on the West Coast. New Year's Eve at Anaheim, New Year's Day at LA.
Could we make
So
a
that-
trip out of that?
And
with
I couldn't
Scotty?
count that. I didn't count that. That's the one I missed. I didn't count that.
So
Scotty.
thank you, Max. Yeah, Scotty's going to be able to see
Whoa.
2 games in 2 days out there on the West Coast.
Whoa.
And I'm bummed that the Seattle game is on a Monday. I'd love to do Seattle. Corbin, you're right. Math is hard. That's why I'm a storyteller in real life.
Yes, same. Honestly, that's a game day live your boy might be missing for sure on New Year's Eve because I will likely be at the Winter Classic between the Chicago Blackhawks and the St. Louis Blues. It's on New Year's Eve. So
Okay.
Well, Vinny, there's no
and
excuse.
it's a night game at Wrigley Field.
There's no excuse. We'll just get you your gear over there, and we'll pipe you in.
He's not kidding. He'll do it.
Honestly, Sam, it's not impossible. And, it's good for the podcast to have me at the Winter Classic watching the Devils on my phone. That is objectively funny.
That is
That is objectively funny.
But if there was ever a Vinnie Parise thing to do, it's that. That is one of the most Vinnie Parise things to do, to be at the Winter Classic, yet still watching the Devils playing on your phone.
Are you going to be
Dude.
with your other gig, Chicago Hockey
Yeah,
Now?
I might be
Okay.
there. I might be there with Hockey Now. Yeah, so that'll
Okay.
be really interesting. And
All right.
again, I'll be cozy in a press box. I'll be watching the Devils for sure.
All right. Well, we'll make sure we'll pipe you in, and we'll be like, all right, Vinny, we're out in Anaheim right now, and what are you doing? Well,
I love that.
excuse me, you're at the Winter Classic.
That's funny. That one time I was at a Bears Rams game, and they were the 2 best teams in the NFC. It was that year the Bears were real good, 2019, and they were the 2 best teams in the NFC. Sunday Night Football, and I was watching the Devils play. I want to say it was Columbus they were playing. Oh my God, that was good.
Wow,
That was good.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good homestands as well. Like in December, you got Seattle, Colorado, Toronto, Kings, and Chicago, like every other day, which is kind of cool. I hated like last season where they squeezed back-to-back home games. Like it kind of like dilutes us a little bit. Like you could have like a Devils Rangers game as the first game, and then they're back at home the next day. And it's like a buzzkill. It's.
Speaking of playing the Rangers, Sam. Speaking of playing the Rangers, we will be able to be live at American Whiskey on December 23rd for our second annual Festivus edition of the Let's Go podcast. December 23rd.
Oh, that's right. The last
Against-
game before Christmas is the Rangers.
Yeah.
And those are the games.
awesome.
Those are the games.
That's awesome.
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
which is weird. Is that a misprint?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm off. I'm off starting on the 20th. So I'm good to go to be at American Whiskey for beer for breakfast on Festivus. Count me in.
You know what? We're going to make it happen. Those games are the best games.
You sound sick.
Vinny. Oh, yeah.
The day before a holiday?
Oh, yeah.
Especially,
I love it.
Everyone's holly jolly.
I
mean, everybody talks about the game against Toronto. It was right before Thanksgiving. It was like the perfect storm. It was like the Devils on a 13-game winning streak. Everybody was drunk because it was right before Thanksgiving. Nobody had to go to work, and you got to see two great teams, and the refs hosed us. And that's where all the chicken fingers and beer and everything were thrown out on the ice. Nobody ever talks about that. They're like, shame those Devils fans. But if Toronto fans do, it's like, oh, they had every right to be pissed. It's always like that. But
hey, the Festivus Bowl will make its second appearance.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting some good mileage out of that, Shorts guy. Yeah.
Thank you to HNG.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm really psyched about that New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Oh,
and Scotty's got it, and then you play San Jose on that Saturday, so that should be very interesting, very interesting on the schedule. Also, could we actually start a movement and try to gather ourselves for a garden invasion and invade Philly as well, because we've got the spots to do the podcast. We could do it at American Whiskey in New York because it's right outside of Madison Square Garden. We can.
I went there.
Yeah, and we can bring that army inside that arena, and then we would have to do it like the way I want to plan it is I want to go unannounced, meaning
either
we do a kind of private channel podcast of our plans, and everybody swears to secrecy in this like little podcast group and get like 50, 100 people, 50, 100 people. And then we go in there like we're corporate suck ups to our bosses that are going to the game pretending to be Ranger fans. As soon as they drop the puck, then we rip off our street clothes and chant, "Let's go Devils," and we'll probably get our asses kicked in the middle of it, but that's okay. That's okay. That's what I'm thinking.
There's two opportunities, December and January.
So Madison Square Garden?
Yep.
Which one is December? It's on a Monday,
yes.
7 p.m. Eastern start. And what's the other one?
The other one is a Thursday, the 9th of January.
I'm thinking January 9th is the one.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because Devils fans traditionally are more holly jollier after Christmas fan than before Christmas.
Okay.
January 9th. We're going to make it happen. But we got to go radio silent as we announce it on this podcast.
Yeah,
January
seriously.
9th. And also,
but we all so Brooke just made a very good point in the chat. Everyone's got to go to that game on the 23rd. Everyone's got to buy tickets, so it's not a lot of Ranger fans there. So, Brooke, you're absolutely correct. We all need to be there. We all need to be at that home game because, that's a game that we have to be at.
Yeah, but you have to buy out the seats. I mean, she's absolutely correct because, we're going to do our Festivus thing there. You don't want to go into Christmas after the game it can't be a dud. We got to go all out. And by the way, we're possibly being within striking distance of hitting 1 million downloads sometime this season.
Oh, could you imagine if it was the Festivus episode?
We got we should book Shelley right now. If it's gonna,
If we're gonna do Festivus, I mean but we gotta see what time American Whiskey is gonna be open with the 1 o'clock start. Like we need real good
5 a.m. 5
a.m.
a.m.
Good beer for breakfast day.
Yeah,
Irish breakfast there. Irish car bombs for breakfast.
Alejandra will be serving.
There we go.
And what's that beer that we normally have?
What's that beer? The red beer that we like?
Anchor!
Where we make winning memories together, one crew at a time.
Love it.
Yeah,
One more hockey note on this?
Yeah. Let's do it.
6 of the last 7 New Jersey Devils games are at home.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be a hell of a stretch.
So if you're looking to clinch a playoff berth or win the Metropolitan Division or, hopefully something good along those lines, having 6 out of the last 7 at home does not suck.
Plus, you play the New York Rangers on last Saturday, April 5th. So that's going to be a Saturday afternoon. Again, I'm not sure if I like afternoon games like that.
We hardly had any last year.
Yeah, the reason why I don't like afternoon games is, I don't know. Some people are not morning people, so they're not on their A game.
Can you name an NHL team with more Europeans than the New Jersey Devils? I think that factors into it.
Okay.
Prime time in Switzerland, Sweden.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, because
wherever.
1, 2. I didn't even look to count how many 1 o'clock games there are. But even for us, for like Game Day Live.
I noticed it when Heischer was first drafted. The 17-18 season, they played like 6 1 o'clock games. And like they were all nationally broadcasted in Switzerland.
Interesting. Well, I'm thinking March 9th. So we got January 9th, and then we got March 9th, Sunday, in Philly, 1 p.m. Eastern start. Now, what's significant about that is, it's a 1 p.m. I don't mind 1 p.m. Eastern starts on a Sunday because it gives you time.
7 1 o'clock starts. No, it would be 8.
Invasion of Philadelphia. We'll go to Chickies and Pete's right beforehand outside of Wells Fargo Center. We go in, and we destroy the place.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Wow, we got some work to do. We got some work to do on these games. I want an invasion, folks. I want an actual invasion. I mean, we did it once with the Garden. Were you there, Shorts Guy? Were we friends then?
No, I was not there. We were friends, I believe, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, we were friends. Yeah, so I think there was probably about 70 of us, and we is it Blarney Stone or Blarney Rock next to Stout? I forgot which one is which. That I wore the Marty Brodeur gear. All the Ranger fans that went in the bar, because we were all Devils fans, was like, what is this, Hoboken? And then they would just leave because we were intimidating. And then we went to the arena. We beat the Rangers, I believe, 7-3 that night. And I went unscathed. Madison Square Garden.
Was that the game you were escorted to the elevator on your way out?
Oh, yeah. Sir, come over here. I didn't do anything. No, we know that. Look, they want to kill you outside. We got a safer way for you to go home. Go follow us. Try an elevator. Okay. But by the time I got out of the elevator with the goalie gear on, as soon as the doors opened and I was out on 33rd or 34th Street or whatever, there were Japanese tourists that happened to be walking by and all wanted pictures with me. So all the Ranger fans were booing, all that, but I couldn't, yeah. So somewhere in Japan, I have pictures with these fine folks, exploring the city.
There's a World War II joke in there that I'll avoid.
We'll talk off air. But that's it. That's all I got. I mean, maybe Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh would be fun.
March 15th.
I was just looking at that March 15th. That would be a lot of fun, especially with little Steve from Hockey on Tap. going out there to Pittsburgh. 'Cause I already told them I would love to go to Pittsburgh for a game. Looking at what else we got. The Nashville game, Vinny, you and I are going to have to talk about that one because the Nashville away is very appealing to me. I wish the Colorado game was on a weekend because then it would be a lot easier for me personally.
Is the Nashville game a weekend?
It's a Sunday afternoon.
Dude. Oh, my God. That could be the best weekend ever.
It could be.
It's literally one of the 3 funnest streets in the world.
I know, I've been.
And the Nashville Predators play at the beginning of it.
I know.
Yeah, you've been.
I've been. Good time.
Oh, my. And then it's Sunday, too, so, you can rip it up on Saturday, sleep in till noon, go to the game at 1, then rip it up again on Sunday because every day is the same in Nashville. It's 7 straight days of the same thing over and over again. We can really make that happen.
We could.
I think every person in my life would want to go. That's the only thing I fear. Who do I say yes to and who do I say no to? Wait. Everyone I know would want to go.
Does this mean I'll actually get to meet your brother that I've heard so much about?
Yeah, I think going to Nashville would very much be up his alley. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I need a reason to go back to Nashville. And it's in February, so it's not like it's super cold there, but it's also not super warm at that time of year. That's fine.
Yeah, no, it's probably it'll certainly be in the teens or lower in Chicago, so it'll be an upgrade over that.
Yes. Well, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure.
There's definitely plenty of opportunity for some pretty good trips this year, and I'm excited for that. But
and I really like that March 1st Utah.
I was
Vegas
just looking
back
at that,
to back.
Yeah. We gotta plan flights. We gotta start looking at that because this is about the time of year that we started planning out that Arizona Vegas trip that everyone kind of was like, and then everyone was like, yeah, that was the best thing. So Vinny, you got to do that one too.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, Vinny. We'll figure it out.
No, now I have to gamble again in Vegas. Hey, at least let's see. 8, 7, 6. So it's a 6 o'clock start in Vegas this time. 6, either 5 or 6, whatever it is. At least we have a little bit more time.
But that would be a
little bit more time.
What would that be?
It's an 8 o'clock start here.
No. Do these schedules go by Eastern or?
Yes, they go by Eastern time.
All of it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a 5 o'clock start. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm good with a 5 o'clock start in Vegas. That means we don't have to fly out at 5:45 a.m.
Yeah, that was one of the best flights I've ever had, Southwest.
Yeah, we know, Sam. We know. Yeah, VIP Sam Woo.
Yes.
Ooh. And I had this woman next to me. What's with him? And I was like, he's just a friend of mine. He's just being a jackass.
He's a friend of mine, but I hate him.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how the conversation went.
That's funny.
I still have the video. The video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe if Beer Baron goes out to Utah, he'll have another rant out in Utah.
Wait a second here. I think we got 2 Montreal games on Saturdays.
Away?
Yeah, there's one in
is
January.
In February.
And one is January.
February and January. Oh yeah, the greatest time of the year to go to Montreal. January and February. Fun time.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah, ask Benedict Arnold how it was to try to invade into the French territory in the winter.
It's not that bad.
Very well. Yeah, well.
Benedict Arnold.
It was before he was a turncoat.
That's funny. Benedict Arnold.
Sorry, you're going to get random history stuff from me.
Just like World War II jokes?
Yep.
All right. I think we should end this podcast before it really goes off the rails. Anyway.
That's funny. I loved it. We broke down the schedule well.
We had a good time. Yeah, there's definitely some dates that all of our listeners and all of our fans need to pay attention to. We're going to be actually, you know what, Sam? What's a good website for our listeners to go to find out the latest and greatest in all of our news, notes, and trip plans?
Well, since you're asking, joinourcrew.com.
There we go.
Yes, joinourcrew.com. It saved us during the outdoor game with our emergency alert system, where Shorts Guy and I were frantically texting Vinny and folks where we're going to be when we got kicked out of the parking lot.
Yeah, I can't encourage everyone enough to go to joinourcrew.com and sign up, and probably start getting some emails from us about potential big games that you should look to for getting tickets, for potentially traveling to, just to come
our garden
just
invasion,
come stay and hang out, our garden invasion, all of that.
Yeah,
and definitely go to joinourcrew.com so you can get the latest and greatest news from us and what our trips are going to be. Plus, just when we're going to be hanging out at American Whiskey, we'll get to see everyone again like we did last year. The likes of Max and Ted. Hopefully Justin and Jake will come over, and it'll be a good time. Yeah. It'll definitely be a good time. And, everyone else that we see, Tom and everyone, come on out, and we'll have a real good time again this year. Maybe we'll even let my teammate Mike, who's throwing some comments into the chat, maybe we'll let him come into American Whiskey, but may have to take off that Ranger jersey again. Yeah, actually, before we go, we should probably discuss what everyone's talking about in the chat today. The reacquisition of one Tomáš Tatar, who I said it at the time that he left. I don't think he was thrilled that he left. He looked like he felt like he made a mistake, and I feel like he's rectifying that mistake and coming back. I saw that Ted said we're getting the band back together. It kind of feels that way. Yeah, Tomáš Tatar. I think that's a pretty good acquisition. What was it? 1.8 million.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good. I'd say that was a good acquisition because I want to say he was probably a bigger part of this team than we really.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with Simon Nemec, and being a leader in the locker room, But I'm still holding out for the big tuna, the real big tuna in Ottawa.
He has.
Yes, oh my.
He has more of a defined role this time around, which I like. He's going to come in and be on the third line with Holla and Cotter. Cotter will probably be on the fourth line. He'll be on the third. It depends on if they make another signing. It could either be Mercer. Like, let's say they signed Tarasenko tomorrow. It would be Mercer on the third line then. There's a couple things that'll depend on the other side of Holla, but Tatar will play with Holla. I think it could be Andre Palat, right? Like, there's a lot of guys it could be. It actually probably would be Palat before Mercer. So I'm excited about it. I think it's a good move. He had success with the Devils. Good third line piece.
Yeah, no, he definitely had success. And I'm glad to see him back because, like I said, when he left last time, I feel like he regretted leaving. So, but, welcome back, Tomáš Tatar. And, we're only in day 2 of free agency, and I know that there's one big trade that Sammy would like to see happen. Beer Baron is trying to speak it into existence, and everyone was at one point complaining about us talking about it too much.
Oh, I don't care. Just because of that, I want to talk about it all the time. That's how we troll our own fans, Vinny.
Oh, yeah.
Just talk about what's about to come. Brady Tkachuk, Ottawa Senators.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. And then at that point, we need to have Walt come out to American Whiskey.
Yeah. The wife of Brady Tkachuk comes home again. New Jersey. Anyway. All right. Well, I think that's it, guys. I want to thank all those tuning in.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you all for a random Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah. Talking about the schedule.
In July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
July 2nd. And also, happy early birthday to you, Shorts Guy.
Thank you again.
Happy early birthday, Shorts Guy.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Run with the Devil says he has a theory.
All right.
Makes some
So
sense. I don't know what theory he's talking about.
Throw it in there. Throw it in the chat. Running with the Devils.
You bet. Yeah, I'm going to play the music. You only got a certain limited amount of time. I want to see what your theory is. Run with the Devils. I want to know.
Yeah, so do I.
Wanna know.
I'm like, waiting here.
Yeah.
He's typing it out.
Yeah, come on, keyboard warrior. Go. The
Hey,
music's about
Ted,
to start.
happy birthday to you, July birthday, buddy.
Yeah, Ted.
Oh, man.
Oh, the music has started.
Oh, the music is starting.
I don't see anything about this theory. Oh, no. Are you trolling us?
Maybe his theory is that we just came on here so we could talk about the trips we want to plan around the Devil schedule this season.
Tom said he went silent for Dolan Internet.
He did a video on it. Oh, what a plug. He's plugging now. He's plugging right now. Very nice. Very nice. You had us fooled. I'll go watch it. All right. I hope they play commercials so he gets a little money out of it. Nothing wrong with your fellow Devils fan making money. All right.
Nope.
Thank you to everybody. Till next time. Let's go Devils.